Good morning. Welcome to NewsWare's Trade Talk podcast for Tuesday, July 14th. Okay, let's get into the action. Take a look at the S&Ps. We're down 0.19%, about 0.2% this morning. Got a lot of earnings coming out this morning, but really the renewed tensions between the U.S. and Iran, it's keeping the sentiment on edge. I mean, it's a pivotal week for, the financials, but the oil's moving higher, and that's causing inflation concerns. Last night or early this morning, the U.S. launched another round of airstrikes on Iran. They did retaliate, but that situation is really causing some concern in the markets today. One interesting fact is President Trump is going to be hosting the Iraqi Prime Minister today at the White House. In economic news, the key report coming out today is the CPI report. That's the inflation report. And don't forget, Fed Chairman Warsh is going to be giving testimony on Capitol Hill today. He'll probably be very tight-lipped, though. In corporate news, Meta is said to be flooding the market with smart glasses. Brown-Forman, BFA, their CEO, stepping down. He recently had talks about merging the firm, and now he's stepping down. Interesting. On the earnings front, we're seeing WFC, Wells Fargo trading slightly higher, whereas in JP Morgan and Bank of America are lower after their earnings releases. Tomorrow morning is another big day. ASML, Johnson & Johnson, Morgan Stanley, BlackRock, Bank of New York, Cintas, and Progressive Insurance. They're all scheduled to report earnings. Now we're taking a look at the global markets, and we're looking at the DAX. The DAX is trading lower. It's off by 0.93% this morning. We're seeing weakness in industrial travel stocks and pharmaceutical stocks. The FTSE is lower by 0.3%. Financial and defense stocks are underperforming. The CAC in Paris is down 0.78% with weakness in the luxury sector. Looking over at Asia last night, which was mainly higher. I mean, we did have the Nikkei jump 0.74%, and it did have gains in financials and tech stocks. The Hang Seng finished higher by 0.52% with gains in energy and shipping sectors. China, it jumped 1.36% on stronger than expected trade data. Exports surged 27% year over year, while imports climbed 36% to an all-time high. Both figures, exceeded the expectations, so that's very positive. We're taking a look at oil this morning, and oil is continuing to gain more than 2%. We got WTI at $79.98 a barrel. We got Brent at $86.54 a barrel. It's the renewed hostilities in the Middle East, centered around the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Iran is looking to, impose new transit or tolls fees for any vessels passing through the waterway, and the U.S. is looking to cease that from happening by essentially restricting the Iranian oil exports and limiting their ability to generate revenue. After the bell today, we get the API estimates coming out. That could be something as well. Moving on, we're taking a look at earnings. We got to start off with IBM. Listen, they missed by 9 cents, and they did it on lower revenue. That stock's down 22% this morning. Wow. JP Morgan, ticker JPM, stock's down 2.74% this morning. They beat by 34 cents, but it was done on lower revenue. We got Wells Fargo, WFC. It's now trading lower. It's down 2%. They beat by 30 cents on higher revenue. Goldman Sachs just came out with a very stellar report. They delivered a strong beat, and that stock is seeing strong gains this morning. It's up 2.9% this morning. Upcoming tomorrow morning, ASML, J&J, MS, BLK, BNY, CNTS, PJR, all scheduled to report. In terms of economic reports, the key one today is going to be the CPI report that's due out this morning and 1 hour before the opening bell. Forecasts are calling for the CPI headline to decline 0.1% month over month in June, followed by an increase in May. The core, which excludes the volatility and food and energy components, is expected to increase month over month, though. In terms of Fed speak, you got Kevin Walsh at 10 a.m. You got Michael Barr, who's speaking at 12:40, and then again at 12:55. At 1 p.m., we got Austin Goolsbee of the Chicago Fed. Then at 1:30, we got Fed Governor Lisa Cook. That's followed at 2:55 p.m. by Fed Governor Michelle Baumann. Now we're moving on, and we're talking about some stocks in the tape this morning. We're just going to start off with Apple, which is moving lower this morning. But Huawei and Apple really are dominating the Chinese smartphone markets again, according to a report. Google, Swiss regulators open an investigation into the Android operating system. Meta flooding the market with smart glasses. Dow Jones 30 stocks. Ethiopian Airlines is close to finalizing an aircraft order for up to 50 jets. It's a state-owned carrier, and they're looking to modernize their fleet. They're mostly Boeing planes, so Boeing should get the order. Boeing shares are flat to higher this morning. Apple and Google likely to strengthen AI ties, found that OpenAI lawsuit. NVIDIA announced its whitelist of approved Asian clients to comply with U.S. regulators. In terms of guidance news, IBM, they see Q2 EPS coming in $2.93. The street was at $3.02. That's a big downtick. In terms of catalyst calls, Citibank opens up a 90-day catalyst watch on Estee Lauder. In terms of my pick of the day, I'm going to go with Johnson & Johnson, ticker JNJ, John, Nancy, John. The fact of the matter is our earnings are out tomorrow morning. The EPS is $2.84. Expected move is 3.69%. Yesterday's call volume was 6,921 calls to 4,362 puts. That's a 0.63 put-to-call ratio. Open interest, 20,000. 400 to 18,800. That's positive. Major brokers continue to raise price targets. I like to see that. For me to get into the stock, I'm thinking, 257 area is really where I'm looking at. Around there, 257, 257.25, something like that. But that's my pick of the day. Johnson & Johnson earnings play. Earnings are out tomorrow morning. Okay, now we're going to talk about some stocks that are hitting the tape this morning, see if we see anything highlighting that could be interesting in the last 15 minutes or so. Algient receives FDA approval. Citigroup's profits jumped 45%. Stocks trading lower by 2% though this morning. Goldman Sachs profits surged 78%. Banking revenue, investment banking revenue was up 55% higher than last year. Cracker Barrel, CBRL, David Shaw of D.E. Shaw raises his passive stake to 7.3% from 5.1% in an SEC filing. Teva's lawsuits against Eli Lilly is being revived by Appeals Corp. AstraZeneca got the rights to develop and commercialize a drug for a lung cancer treatment. Paramount, Skydance, and Warner Brothers, California and 11 states sued to block Paramount's $110 billion acquisition of Warner Brothers. India's competition regulator found HP guilty of rigging bids in the government electronic procurement platform. Albertsons, ABI, Washington State accused the company at a trial that kicked off on Monday of helping fuel the opioid epidemic by flooding communities with addictive painkillers. That's all I'm saying this morning. Okay, now we're moving on to our pick of the day from yesterday, which was ticker FAST, Fastenal. Listen, they met expectations. I mean, the stock opened up yesterday at $47.33, fell down to $46.64, just shy of my $46.50 entry point, and then it did run to $47.05, but it didn't really hit the 1%. And it's being weighed down by sentiment today, but it was kind of a flat trade. I can't call it a miss because it never really hit my entry point, but it really wasn't a gainer. But it was just one of those days. But it was the best of breed, I thought yesterday. But that concludes today's podcast, traders. You guys know what to do. Let's go out there and let's make some green.